Recently in the US there has been a heated debate about gun law and gun regulations. Student protests have appeared all around the country demanding more strict regulations for guns. This student movement rises in response to the several mass and school shootings that have occurred just in this decade. Since 2013, there has been 2009 mass shootings in the US with 2,621 deaths and 7,776 people wounded. Out of these 2009 mass shootings, 70 of them happened in the first quarter of this year. But how come that in a leading country such as the US, this can keep happening? Well, one of the strongest US ideals is freedom. We advertise it everywhere, and sometimes we cannot separate the idea from the feeling of being American. This is an idea as old as America itself. The founding fathers, having lived in a monarchic government in which everything was subjugated to the will of the king, decided to make freedom the foundation for the 13 colonies and the future United States. To secure the freedom of the people, the founding fathers designed a governing system by the people and for the people, protected by the Constitution. Most of the articles in it are there to have a government in which the power does not lie in one person or entity, but rather distributed among institutions and branches of government. This mainly because of the present fear of the founding fathers that they will be creating a system that eventually will turn into a monarchy. Thus, enter the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was put into place with this old fear in mind. They said the creation of an army that would protect the citizens from foreign threats, but just as they did with the distribution of roles in government, they wanted a way to ensure that the army would not turn against the people at some point. Thus, they put the Second Amendment in place to guarantee that not only the army could have the power of bearing arms, but also the people, so they could defend themselves in the given case of an uprising. In addition to this, by the time the US was founded, there wasn't much of an infrastructure going on. The founding fathers could not ensure protection to the people from inner threats, so they had at least to give something to the people so they could defend themselves and their property. All of this is good. All the reasons for the Second Amendment make sense in the context in which it was created. But what about today? Well, let's compare the two reasons in today's context. As of right now, the US Army has an estimated 1,429,995 active members. Members that are highly trained to fight and that not only have access to guns, but also to all sorts of military weapons and equipment, including nuclear weapons. Then, in the given event of an organized uprising by the army against the government and its people, it will be very unlikely that we will be able to defend ourselves just with the use of assault rifles and handguns. Second reason, the idea that we need to defend ourselves from inner threats. It is understandable that in the beginning of the US as an independent country, the use of guns by the citizens would have been allowed. After all, not many cities existed and most of the people had their homes outside in the middle of nowhere, where they could be easily sacked by criminals. So at least there had to be a way in which the citizens could defend themselves. But right now, the bigger population of the US live in cities that have police departments responsible for defending citizens from all sorts of dangers. In conclusion, the idea of the citizens defending themselves from the army or from ourselves, it is rendered outdated and invalid. I understand that guns have been a part of American culture since the beginning, but I think that we need to take a look at the bigger picture and see the damage that they are doing at our society. People are dying for protecting the outdated rights of a few that just want a gun as a medium of entertainment. This much gun violence isn't normal, and it needs to stop.